Printers have modernized our lives by inputting text onto a piece of paper faster than most people can write. But what would happen if printers can do more than add ink onto a page of paper? Back in 1984, a three-dimensional object was printed by a man called Chuck Hall of 3D Systems Corp., the inventor of the first fully functional 3D printer. Anybody here want to guess at what the first 3D printed object was? Okay. Well, it's a cup, and its only function was nothing more than that of an eye wash. 3D printing, as defined by Google, a totally legit source, is a process for making a physical object from a three-dimensional digital model, typically by laying down many successive thin layers of a material. The first 3D printed object, the first 3D printer, used the method of stereolithography, where a special laser was used to outline the design, which was created digitally, and it turns the liquid plastic, which was the material, into a solid of a desired shape. Although the first 3D printed object was just a cup, 3D printing's capability stretches far beyond that boundary. One thing that I always struggle to find and buy is a pair of shoes. Shoes are one of the most diverse types of products that you can find on the market. I'm amazed and impressed by the different types of shoes, the color of shoes, the textures of the shoes that you can find. However, the main problem that I encounter as I browse through these shoes is that most of them don't fit with my feet perfectly. So to get personal, let me show you my feet. For some reason, my feet are not the same as most people's feet, see? The size of my feet are larger than normal, and my big toe, as you can see here, has suffered a lot throughout the few years of my life. I have this condition called arthroptosis, you can see the pronunciation, or also known as ingrown toenail on both my feet. So let me show you the other one. For good luck, and it's more severe on the right foot. And I can explain it very easily because I've been dealing with this all my life, really. And in this condition, basically, nail of your toe grows onto the side and it cuts into the soft flesh of your skin. And this results in redness, swelling, infections, and most of all, most importantly, pain. Lots and lots of pain. The interesting thing about this is, according to research performed on cultures without shoes, this condition is only present on shoe-wearing cultures and non-existent on barefooted people, since this condition requires a force to be acting on the nail, and that force is provided by the shoes. So, let me show you. If your shoes are too small, too narrow, or too flat at the end, you might get this condition, which for me took 2 surgeries to fix. And even now, I'm still not convinced that this condition will not reappear in the future to haunt me sometime, like boo. Those were really painful times. Not just the times that I had to go through the surgeries, but the time I have to wear sneakers to school and spend the whole day carrying around the pain, walking, running, kicking a ball around in PE class. With that, I can't just go barefoot either because it would hurt being barefoot. And 2, shoes will protect you from injuries that are far more severe than arthroptosis. And 3, it's just going to be plain weird doing anything outside without shoes. Sort of like what I'm doing now. Now, imagine that you can get a pair of shoes that fits you perfectly. A pair of shoes that is made especially for you with the help of 3D printing. This has already been done with big companies like Nike, printing parts of their shoe like in this Nike Vapor Hyper Agility Cleat. And with the help of 3D printing, shoes will work and feel better than they have ever before. You can say that 3D printing will take the footwear industry a step further. Now, let's move on to a more serious topic, shall we? A topic that concerns with life or death. Medicine is something that we've been working on for centuries, simply to keep people from dying. We've worked through several medical milestones in our past. We've eradicated smallpox, once the most feared disease across the globe. We invented vaccines that's capable of preventing diseases, even if you're exposed to them. Now, in a related futuristic example, imagine a world where common people can live for over 100 years. According to the World Bank, the average life expectancy for a Thai person in 2012 was 74 years old. So we gotta get out our calculators here to calculate how much longer our life expectancy has to be. And as you can see, 100 minus 74 is 26 years. 26 years. That may seem like a really long time. It may be a really big gap. I'm not even 26 myself, but you have to keep in mind the fact that our life expectancy has been increasing at a very rapid rate, especially in the last century. Living to 100 years old will not be difficult with technology that's capable of printing fresh and healthy organs. That's right, bingo. Scientists and doctors have been working with 3D printers to print out organs with cells that we print things out with ink or plastic today. One such person is Anthony Atala, a surgeon who asked the question, can we grow organs instead of transplanting them? Of course! Although this technology is still in its very early stages, it means that doctors potentially can print out organs to replace the malfunctioning one without the need of a donor. Imagine hearts and kidneys being printed out for a specific patient to cure his or her specific disease. Back in October, a baby was born with a heart defect, which required a surgery to fix. Using CT scans, a team was able to model the baby's heart, which has a very complex, peculiar shape with holes and arteries everywhere, as you can see here. And with our current technology, it still isn't that simple to print out a fully functional heart yet, especially to fix a problem as complex as this. However, the team was able to 3D print the baby's heart with a flexible material that can be easily manipulated and cut into. This gave the surgeons a chance to examine the heart and plan out their surgery before actually performing it. 3D printing may have just saved the baby's life, because without it, the surgeons would have taken more surgeries, and with more surgeries, the chances of mistakes arises, especially on a baby's heart that the surgeons are not used to working on. 3D printing may have just saved one insignificant baby's life on that day, but in the future, it is capable of saving millions as it improves. Another important aspect of our life that we enjoy is food, multiple different types of food that we want to eat. 3D printing technology today is capable of printing out chocolate, sugar candies, hamburgers, and even pizzas. In the future, one day, you may just need all the ingredients, shove them in a 3D printer, and wait until your food finishes printing. This will save a lot of time, especially as 3D printing technology will only get better. Of course, we can actually eat these, so don't worry about having to eat plastic or anything like that. And potentially, people will be able to create their design, the recipe, digitally, and share them with everybody online. And then everybody would have access to a different variety of exquisite food from everywhere without even leaving their homes. Of course, with all the great things that come with 3D printing, there may be some negative effects that can be carried along with it. There may be less gun control and easier copyright infringements because usable guns and counterfeit items will be incredibly easy to print out with high-tech 3D printers. There may be some businesses going out, like some restaurants, and some declines in jobs. However, businesses that relate to 3D printing will prosper and will give more job opportunities in the end, which eventually will outweigh the values of the obsolete businesses that have to go. Of course, this change will not be easy, but as one random dude once said, every generation needs a new revolution. And I think 3D printing is the revolution of this generation. 3D printing will change the way we live our lives and the way we manufacture products. In the past, when people want something, they would have to go shopping. They'll be asking the question, where do I have to shop to get that? Where do I have to go to get that? In the future, people will be asking, how will I build that? How will I 3D print that? 3D printing gives people an opportunity to design, share, and physically create anything they want within their own homes. Not to mention it can also save lives. Who knows how much 3D printing can change the world that we live in today? But I know for certain that it is capable of transforming our world into a better place and putting it, finally, into a comfortable pair of shoes. Thank you.